Great. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us this evening. My name is Kristen Horler. I'm the founder of Baby Boot Camp, and I'm joined by three of my friends, fellow fitness professionals and nutrition enthusiasts. We are just so passionate about inspiring healthy living, and we hope to give you some tips and techniques that have worked for us with our families, also with our clients as well. As we share with you a little bit tonight about how to eat the rainbow. So I am going to just pull up our PowerPoint presentation here, and I want to make sure everybody is able to see the screen share. Just one moment here. All right, Heather, can you raise your hand if you can see that? Is that a yes? And Linda, excellent. Okay. All right, so tonight we are sharing about eating the rainbow. So I am living in Sarasota, Florida. I have a 15-year-old daughter and a 13-year-old son. My husband Mark and I have been married for 16 years, and we have some challenges with nutrition in our household. My son and I both have autoimmune diseases. We can't eat any wheat or gluten. And my daughter and my husband are vegan. So cooking for the four of us is always an adventure. Trying to get us to sit down and eat the same meal is often challenging. A couple weeks ago, we did a really fun webinar on one-pot meals, and all four of us fitness professionals that are sharing tonight, we contributed a recipe. So if you are interested in learning more about those one-pot meals and seeing the recording from that last webinar in January, please get with the person who invited you. I can tell you the 4 meals were incredible. My family's asking them for them again this week. They absolutely loved all the contributions. So thank you to my fellow fitness professional friends. And one of the things that we just really want to focus on is variety. So we're going to talk a little bit about the benefits of fruits and vegetables, but we're also going to talk about variety, how to get it, and why we need to get it. So we're going to talk about coloring your plate and how important that is, that we don't want to eat, 5 servings of oranges and say, yes, I made my servings of fruits and vegetables today for the day. We want to look at variety and getting as much color as we can on our plate, not just for us, but also for our children as well. And it's more than a visual, and we will talk about that a little bit more. We'll also talk about how many servings do you actually need to be eating, because there is definitely nutrition confusion out there, and we want to help provide some clarity and some light as far as how many servings of fruits and vegetables you actually do need per day. And then we're going to share with you a little bit about fruits and veggies and how to add them into every meal, rather than just saying, I'm going to try to cram them all in my smoothie in the morning, or I'm going to try to eat them all at dinner in the evening, but really looking at trying to get your fruits and vegetables throughout the day. And also the wellness benefits from eating more fruits and vegetables. So I have a few of my favorite fruits and vegetables listed here, and these might not be fruits and vegetables that you eat every day, but there is a method to the madness, and I want to share with you just some of the naturally occurring vitamins and minerals that are contained within these fruits and vegetables. This is not something you can make in a lab and isolate in a vitamin, but rather getting the phytonutrients, the water, the fiber, and those naturally occurring vitamins and minerals. So apples, I don't know about you, but apples are pretty easy for me to eat. I typically will have 1 a day. Sometimes I'll chop it up and put it in my smoothie, but they're full of phytonutrients, fiber, which is not just soluble fiber, but also insoluble pectins, vitamin C, and there's a tremendous amount of nutrition in the skin of an apple. So something to think about if you're feeding your little ones apples, when they are able to chew, when they do have some teeth, and you're able to give them some apple, or even making applesauce, leaving the skin on. These are some things to think about, because the skin is very, very rich in phytonutrients and fiber and vitamins and minerals. Now, oranges, we hear about oranges all the time. They're great for us. They're loaded with vitamin C, but they're also full of B vitamins, folate, vitamin A, calcium. I don't think a lot of people know that oranges have calcium in them, and also potassium. The funny thing is that I learned recently that a red bell pepper actually has more vitamin C than an orange. That surprised me. And one of the things that I like to do is to put a little bit of orange zest or a little bit of orange peel right into my smoothie. If I'm putting some orange in there, make sure it's organic if you're using some of the peel and that you've washed it well. But that is pure vitamin C by eating some of the skin. Beets are something that's wonderful. They're actually sitting in my fridge right now. I need to use them before they go bad. But they are loaded with vitamin C, with potassium, manganese, which is good for our bones, our liver, our kidneys, our pancreas. Women, we all need to be consuming manganese, and a great place to get this is in beet or in beet juice. Even if you just put a little slice of beet in your smoothie, or I made hummus last week and I put a little bit of beet into that as well, just some raw beet. It was fine. It just mixed in and turned a beautiful shade of pink. Beets are also very high in folate, which is something very important for women as well. So as we work our way down the list, spinach, I'm sure you've heard what a superfood spinach is. It really is. So it's packed with niacin, zinc, protein. A lot of people don't realize how much protein is in green leafy vegetables. It's full of vitamin A, C, E, K, thiamine, B6, calcium, and iron. So if you need to increase your consumption of calcium rather than going and getting an isolated calcium supplement, add spinach to everything that you can. I put it in my shakes in the morning. I put it with my pasta. I mix it in soups. I probably eat spinach 3 or 4 times a day. It goes in everything. So I'm not worried about consuming enough calcium. My body is absorbing all of that calcium from the foods that I'm eating. Blueberries are very high in fiber, very high in potassium, folate, vitamin C, and B6. And last but not least on my favorite list of fruits and vegetables is pomegranate, which is very high in vitamin C, antioxidants, fiber, potassium, folate, and vitamin K. So you can see just these naturally occurring vitamins and minerals in these fruits and vegetables and the benefits of them. And I've barely scratched the surface, but these are just a few to give you some variety. So I'm going to go ahead and hand it over to my friend Heather so she can introduce herself, where she lives, her family, and a little bit more about how we color our plate. Heather?
Thank you, Kristen, and welcome everybody. My name's Heather Hampton, and I am actually in Minnesota. I have my family, my husband, my son who is 6, and my daughter who is 2. I have a background in nutrition. I have a bachelor's degree for dietetics and a master's degree in exercise physiology. So
it's a webinar about nutrition.
Fitness and nutrition have always been something very important to myself, and I thought that my family was doing really good when we were looking at how much variety and how many servings of fruits and vegetables we get. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself here on my slide here, because how many servings do we need? Well, there are different recommendations. If you look at the USDA, they're now saying 7 to 13 servings, which is kind of a wide variety there. 7 on the low end and 13 on the high end. Women that are, working out on a regular basis, we're thinking we need closer to even higher than that, 18 servings if you're working out, nursing, or pregnant. You need a lot of servings of juice or of fruits and vegetables. Other sources say 5 to 9 servings. So somewhere in there, we can see that 7 is definitely probably the lowest end that we want to go, but more fruits and vegetables are never a bad thing in anybody's diet, especially when we're looking at getting the variety like Kristen was saying and coloring our plate. So if you're like me, I remember the 5-a-day program and the campaign that the USDA had around the 5-a-day. And so when I used to think about my family's diet and what we ate every day, I thought we did pretty good. We got pretty close to 5 a day most days of the week. But then I started to look at, we're not eating variety. We tend to eat the same things about every day or every week. It's very similar. There's not a lot of variety. And then I realized that 5 a day is old news. It's not where we need to be. And we need to be closer to that 9+ servings of fruits and vegetables every day. And there's some major reasons why the USDA and other sources are recommending this increase. And one of the reasons is depleted soil, or just in general, our food isn't as nutritious as it was years ago. There was a study done in 2004 at the University of Texas, and it studied 43 different fruits and vegetables, and they found that there was reliable declines in the amount of protein, calcium, phosphorus, iron, riboflavin, which is vitamin B2, and vitamin C. There is reliable declines in all of these vitamins and minerals in our produce. And the reason is because in agriculture, it's all about practicing how to make our produce bigger, grow faster, look more beautiful, and not so much about the nutritional value. And also resistance to pests. So a lot of chemicals are being used on our produce as well, not allowing it to have the nutritional value that it used to have centuries ago. So that's one of the reasons why we have the increase in the recommendation. The other is that there's increased pollutants in our environment that we are exposed to on a daily basis. Some of these things come from plastics that we use in our household, molds that we may be exposed to and don't even know, the cleaners that you use in your home. What do you use to clean your house? Well, some of those, can be releasing toxins into the air. Unnatural lighting can be a source of daily toxins. Food toxins, like I talked about, what's being put on our produce when it's being grown. If we're not eating organic food, and I try to eat organic when possible, that's not always a possibility, especially living in Minnesota. And then another huge toxin that leads to, needing more fruits and vegetables is our increased stress and our decrease or lack of sleep that we have in a society that works 24/7 or is always doing something, always on the go. So that leads to our bodies needing to have more fruits and vegetables, be able to be healthy and to be able to live at our fullest potential. So that's just a little bit about where our servings, how many servings are recommended, and why we're looking at that increase. We encourage you to get with the person that invited you tonight to the webinar, and they have a fruit and veggie tracker that we would love for you to look at the next 7 days. And on our fruit and veggie tracker, there's enough room to actually write down what you ate. So you can look at not only how many servings are we getting, but how much variety in the color are we getting? Are we eating 5 oranges and 2 apples and 1 cup of spinach? Probably need a little more variety if that's what our diet looks like every day. So it will help you identify kind of those patterns that you have and where we can increase our variety as well as increase more on our plate. And that's where Mary is going to come in. So I'm going to turn it over to Mary. Mary's going to talk about the sneak in some more fruits and veggies in our day.
Hi, everybody. Can you hear me?
Sorry. I'll put it on mute. Sorry.
Okay. Hi. Hi, everyone. My name is Mary McQueen. I live in Oakland, California. I am a fitness professional for the past 8+ years. And I have 3 children, a 9.5-year-old boy, a 6.5-year-old girl, and a 4.5-year-old boy. So I'm going to talk a little bit about how to get fruits and veggies into every meal. My first tip for you guys, so again, we're going off of Heather's, getting our 7 to 13 minimum veggies in. I have found that if we try to wait and get our fruits and veggies in at lunch and dinner, it's really, really challenging to get those 7 to 13 servings in. I highly recommend that you try to, and I call it front end. So front end your day with fruits and veggies. So this means trying to get in as much as you can for breakfast. My favorite way to do so personally, when it's a little bit warmer, it's been very rainy here in California, but I love my morning shake. And so I really load my shake up. I use either the vanilla complete or chocolate complete from Juice Plus, and I add in, going back to what Kristen was saying, tons of spinach. You will not taste it in there. And raw zucchini, half a banana, almond butter. The one that I really love is to do that one with chocolate. You get kind of the chocolate almond butter, chocolate peanut butter, banana shake. And what's really funny is I actually, the other day, the kids were like, I've had my Vitamix for like 4.5 years, and I only ever make either shakes, healthy, breakfast shakes, or soups in it. And so my kids are like, Mom, can we just have a real milkshake? Like, go get some ice cream and make a real milkshake. And I said, okay, fine, I'll do that this once. And so we made one for dessert, and I was really not impressed. Like, I was like, where's my spinach? I know it sounds really silly, but it really was true. The kids, they did love it, but they also love the shakes as well. So, it was just kind of interesting that I was really preferring my chocolate spinach concoction over a vanilla peanut butter milkshake. But anyhow, that is my first tip. And also kind of thinking outside of the box for breakfast. Like, I think we're so used to, in our culture, having something sweet, which is great when, we can get a shake in. But thinking a little bit differently, like the other day I had leftover soup. I had all this veggie soup that I needed to eat. And I'm on the go in the morning. I have 3 kids, trying to shove them out the door, get all their shoes, get their lunches made. I don't have time for a lot, but I had time. And we don't have a microwave actually at my house because it broke, and then we just never got one. So I stuck some soup on the stove and then poured it in a mason jar and just drank it on the way to dropping them off. So again, kind of getting all those fruits and veggies, or getting some of them in at the beginning of your day, will make lunch and dinner a little bit easier. My second tip is to build a better salad. So I think all of us that are sharing today love salad in a jar parties. One of the things we do is we get together with friends, and everybody brings a couple different things. What I like is I get to try a lot of things that I never would normally put into a salad. So let's say I bring the spinach and some quinoa, and then somebody else would bring beans and cut up olives, and then another person would do bell peppers. You get the idea. But everybody brings 1 or 2, maybe 3 different toppings, and you take your jar, you put your salad dressing at the bottom, and kind of the heftier veggies that can sit in the dressing for a little bit. Cucumbers, tomatoes, olives, those kinds of things. Put that on top of the dressing, and then load up your other veggies, and then your spinach or your greens on the top. And then we would bring, 5 to 6 jars, and then you have your salads made for an entire week, which is really, really helpful when you're running around. So I would think, again, kind of outside of the box with the salads. It's cold here, and it not as cold as probably where Heather is in Minnesota, but it's, good 55, 60 degrees. I'm freezing. I have my sweater on. But I kind of think about a salad as something different, maybe something like a warm salad, something with grains, and that kind of thing for that. And then my next tip on there is to not forget your snacks. So one of the things that we do is I keep a big fruit bowl right on my counter, veggies, those kinds of things there, so that my kids don't really have a big option of being able to pick out chips and pretzels and those kinds of things. When they want some kind of a snack, they reach for a piece of fruit. So I find it to be, right on eye level. My kids eat a lot, so I eventually have to hide the bowl of fruit, but it starts the day out well. And then a couple other ideas are, Kristen talks about this a lot, which I really like, is to make hummus and guacamole, but not to put it on what we normally think of, chips, pretzels, pita chips, that kind of thing, but to get more veggies in at that point. So using endive for your hummus, or using cherry tomatoes in your guacamole, carrot sticks, cucumbers, and that kind of thing. And then my final tip is to make half of your plate fruits and veggies. So going again back to what Heather said about the 7 to 13, the USDA has also kind of moved a little bit from having those 7 to 13 servings to making half of your plate, as you can see in the little graphic there, half fruits and vegetables. So thinking about how to get more vegetables into your dinner, one way that I like to do is instead of doing, for example, we do a lot of like homemade falafel and like baked chicken and that kind of thing. And instead of putting it into a pita or a naan bread, which everybody in my family loves, taking that out and doing it on top of a nice plate of veggies, some roasted vegetables, a salad. So again, kind of thinking outside of the box and getting all of those servings in. It's still a really big challenge though to get, even with all of these tips, I think you will find, and with that veggie tracker that Heather referenced, it's still really, really challenging to get all of those fruits and veggies in, but we can try. So I'm going to hand it over to Linda, who is in LA, which I hear it's raining there as well. So.
Hi, everybody. I'm Linda, and yes, it is raining. It's been a pretty heavy rain since yesterday, but we need it. We're having a major drought, so this will definitely help. Like Mary said, I'm in Los Angeles, and I have 2 kids. I have a 3-year-old, and I have a 13-month-old. And let me tell you, the 3-year-old is quite the challenge. She's at the age where she could tell us what she wants to eat, what she doesn't want to eat, and every day is a negotiation. My son, on the other hand, that's 13 months, my son eats everything. He drinks half my shake. It doesn't matter how green it is or how unsweet it is. He would just tear it down. So I love that he does that. So we have to use some of the tips that you talked about, Mary, and also to add in some more fruits and vegetables, mostly vegetables, so my family would have some as well. So let's talk about, so the reason why we talk about fruits and vegetables is because they are filled with phytonutrients. And phytonutrients are just basically nutrients that you get from plants. So tons and tons of phytonutrients in fruits and vegetables, especially your vegetables. So I'm just going to go through some of them to give you an idea of all the greatness that are packed in our produce. So let's talk about things like your yellow, orange, and red colors in fruits and vegetables. They have tons of antioxidants. That means that they tackle harmful free radicals that damage tissue throughout body. If you think of things like it helps with your immune system, it helps as like an anti-aging, anti-inflammatory, all those things are great things that antioxidants are good for. And if you work out, you actually need more antioxidants because as you work out and you breathe in the oxygen, it does produce more free radicals in your system. So that is one of the reasons why we say that if you do work out, that you need more fruits and vegetables in your diet. So make sure you get those in. Things like yellow and orange fruits like pumpkins and carrots are a good source of like beta carotene, alpha carotene, other things that are great for some of the antioxidants are like your tomatoes, your watermelon, your pink grapefruit. They have something called lycopene in it. So, and it helps with lowering your risk of certain cancers. We know that in life, there are things that we can definitely help to make better. And a lot of the illnesses and diseases that people are getting these days are lifestyle related, means that it's something that is brought on by how much like what we do as far as our physical activity, what we put in our body, our daily stresses, pollutants in the air and things like that, that leads to those illnesses. So you can definitely help make things a lot better by eating those fruits and vegetables that are going to help you avoid some of those or lower your risk of some of those illnesses. And okay, and then another vegetables that has like tons of phytonutrients, as Kristen talked about, is your spinach, your kale, your collards. It helps with the degeneration of like certain muscles and certain cells in your body. So it helps you tons in that way. And let's talk about some of the acids that are found in some of our berries. I love berries. I love blueberries, strawberries, you name it. I absolutely love it. Strawberries, raspberries, and pomegranates. They slow the growth of cancer cells. Isn't that phenomenal? And it may help like your liver neutralize cancer-causing chemicals. So if someone told you that your food could be your medicine, and it's something that you can go to the store and get before you get sick, wouldn't you do it? Like I would. I wish like when I was growing up, we ate pretty healthy, but along the way between leaving home and being on my own, it wasn't always that great. So to actually know that I'm contributing to my health and I'm lowering my risk of getting certain illnesses, I am all for it, especially if you are a parent and you have kids and this is your way, this is your gift to them. I hear that more kids are harmed by bad nutrition than abuse, sexual and like physical abuse. So by giving your family good things to eat, you are definitely like helping and propelling them to a whole nother level of health. A number of phytonutrients fall into like the flavonoid category. They're found in a variety of fruit plants. These things might help prevent certain types of cancer. These are found in some citrus fruits and also in things like apples and berries and kale and onions. And it helps reduce inflammation type things and your risk of asthma, certain types of cancer, and also coronary heart disease. And even grapes, purple grape juice, and red wine, things like that, antioxidants, and also anti-inflammatory benefits. So I can go on and on and on. Brussels sprouts, cabbage, kale, broccoli. The general theme here is that it will not only help reduce your chances of getting certain illnesses, but it also help you feel better. It will help prevent certain things like bone loss. I mean, who would think about that, especially in women? These phytonutrients are great for helping you prevent some of those things that might cause osteoporosis. So let's talk about some of like the everyday benefits of it. Those things, sometimes when I talk about them, people think of it as being further in the future or things that they're not worried about now. Let's talk about some of like the everyday benefits of phytonutrients. Detox, it helps detox your body. Detox not only like, it improves the way that you feel. So some people don't know that they have those issues with toxins in their system. So let me ask you this. Do you often feel tired, worn down, some achiness, digestive issues, allergies, headaches, and more, even fatigue and brain fog? Those are some symptoms of having toxins in your system, and detox can definitely help you. Another one is weight loss. If you're having a hard time losing weight, sugars and other things trigger addiction and overeating, and they spike your insulin and your inflammation level in your body. So detoxing those things out of your body will not only help bring the inflammation down, decrease the spike in the insulin, but it will help you lose weight. So if you're having a hard time, adding in more vegetables, especially, and fruits will help you detox so you can get to that level that you want. And it also, like I said, it helps decreases your chances of degenerative lifestyle diseases as well as illnesses. Okay, another benefit or real life benefit of phytonutrients is gaining clarity. Like an expensive car, your brain functions when it gets premium fuel. Eating high quality foods that contain lots of minerals, lots of vitamins, antioxidants, and we just talked about the things that will give it to you, your fruits and vegetables, will help you think better. It will help you gain mental clarity. So everyday life, if you have those good things, you will actually be able to think better. And unfortunately, just like an expensive car, if you put things in your body that's not as good, not the fruits and vegetables, you're definitely going to feel it as well. And the third one is more energy. Are you feeling groggy? Are you feeling tired? Are you having a hard time getting up in the morning? You may think that you only need energy when you exercise and you do things, but something as simple as just blinking your eyes, you need energy. You're burning energy when you're lying still, when you're just relaxing. It's the basis of life. Your body also uses it to build new tissue, to repair damaged tissue, to generate new one, healthy cells, and even, like I said, simple things like eye movement. So you need energy all throughout, not just when you're doing something physical. And plant-based foods provide your body with those rich, protective phytonutrients that does wonders for your energy level. So how does that apply to real life? That means that you have better mood and disposition. You can fully participate in your family work and life. You're less crabby, less, foggy. Some of us talk about mommy brain. Definitely help you with that. More productive when you're feeling better. You can be a better parent, better partner and friend, and just a better you overall. So eating better, adding those fruits and vegetables are definitely going to help you in all aspects of life, not just like the long run disease preventing things that we talked about, which are also good. And so you're probably asking, how can we put this all together? So my co-hosts, Kristen, Mary, and Heather, gave some tips and also gave you some basic facts and information about how much you need, what you need. But it is also our I don't know, so something we like to do is to give you what's coming up that you can participate in. So if any of you heard of the Shred 10. So the Shred 10 is, and the person that invited you can tell you more about it, is something that we are hosting along with some other people hosted in Shred 10. It starts on February 15th, and it's basically 10 days of good, whole foods, clean eating, plenty of rest. You get 2 shakes a day, as well as vegetable and fruit nutrients that you could be sure that you're getting those required levels that you need. And it's not a diet, it's a way of life. And some people say, not only did they get the detox and the better rest and the mental clarity and better digestion, but they're also noticing weight loss. They're noticing that they're sleeping better than they ever slept before. Their skin is clearer. A lot of other great things. And plus proper nutrition and helping you jumpstart your transformation to whatever it is that you need, whether it is the weight loss or just feeling better or looking better, things like that. So please get with the person that invited you to this Zoom call to find out more about our Shred 10. And one key ingredient that we add, or key piece of the Shred 10, is Juice Plus. Now, all of the things that we talked about sometimes just kind of like take some people back in that they are saying, how am I going to get 13 servings of fruits and vegetables? Well, Juice Plus is 30 different varieties of fine ripened fruits and vegetables in the capsules. If you need meal replacement, our Juice Plus Complete is delicious. It's safe for expecting moms. It's safe for newly postpartum moms who have babies that they're nursing. Also safe for your kids. So it's a good way to add those nutrients in. It's very fast. If you're busy and don't have time to prepare like a meal, this is a way to add good nutritious whole food to your everyday life. And like Mary said, you can add fruits and vegetables in it, and it tastes phenomenal. So again, please speak with the person that invited you to this call, and they will give you more information about everything we talked about if you need the recording, as well as the Shred 10, as well as Juice Plus. And I know it's running behind. I want to be respectful of your time and say thank you so much. And the last thing I want to talk about is that with Juice Plus, your kids, if you have kids that are 4 and over, can get it for free if you are a Juice Plus client. So please speak with us. It was a pleasure having you on our call. This was recorded so you can go back and listen to if you missed anything or if you want to share with other people. Thank you, Kristen, Heather, and Mary. It was great speaking with you, and bye, everybody.
Thank you all. Have a great night.
Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.